On April 6 against the Houston Rockets, Steph Curry had by far his worst game of the year, where he was held to a 1 for 10 shooting night, and the Warriors would drop a must-win home game down the final stretch of the season. But fast forward just 2 weeks to game 1 of the playoffs, this looked like a totally different matchup, where Steph went ballistic with an efficient 31 points, and leaving the Rockets defense with no good answers going into the rest of the series. Now jumping to the first matchup in early April, Houston's game plan for guarding Steph was pretty straightforward. They just had Amen Thompson face guard him, and stay attached on pretty much every screening action both on and off the ball. And Steph wasn't able to get consistent separation, which led to Golden State playing 4-on-4 with Curry watching. And jumping ahead to the Game 1 matchup, Houston went with the same game plan of not switching and primarily fighting through. But through the process, Steph was getting loose for some clean looks. In the first quarter alone, I thought Curry had about 3 to 4 open jumpers. And compared to the shots he was making all night, these are practically missed layups for him.
Here's a clean look. Booty set the screen.
Now when Steph has space off the catch, he's obviously very good at quickly getting into his shot. But he's also got a great feel of leveraging the outside scoring to create attacking angles. Watch him here blast off this cross screen, and when he feels Dillon Brooks scrambling out to meet him on the perimeter, Steph's gonna run through this pass and knife to the rim in one dribble, to then float up the soft scoop layup. And then along with that ability to shoot and drive off the catch, Curry also has a whole duffel bag of different step backs. Watch him here first catch and rip past Thompson's momentum, to then punch off that left foot and drift into a step back. And notice how before Curry even gets his feet set, he's already bringing the ball up into a shot. Now throughout this game, Steph obviously made some ridiculously tough shots, which pretty much always cancels out perfect defense. But at the same time, I also thought Houston had a bunch of defensive breakdowns. First, they botched a bunch of the Warriors' pin down and backscreen actions. We'll see Tari Eason and Brooks here switch the screen, but notice how Brooks falls asleep for a split second, allowing this pass to sneak behind him for a layup. Now on this play, Thompson's going to get caught overplaying the screen, leading to a backdoor cut and layup for Steph. Now Jalen Green is slow to switch the screen, leading to Steph getting way too much breathing room off the catch. And even from the logo with Thompson getting a hand up, this is still way too much space for him. Now obviously you're not going to be perfect when guarding Steph. With all the actions and sets that get run through him, you're bound to have a few breakdowns. But considering all the clean looks Curry got to start the game, plus the handful of open cutting layups he got, the Rockets defense has to be tighter going forward. Because not only can Steph capitalize on the slightest breakdown, but giving him easy buckets will then lead to him building a rhythm. And that's when the impossible shots start to fall. Now I also thought Steph found a ton of success attacking matchups in early offense, and even at age 37, he still has the handle skill and strength to create really good offense off the dribble. We'll see him here lift up his eyes and pull Steven Adams up, to then drop down into a combo to get this blow by. And then as the weak side defense slides over, look how Curry's going to again slow down and lift his eyes to pull him out of his stance, to then reach across for this reverse layup. I love Curry's handle and footwork here, where he's first going to curl the ball across for an in and out, to then get to a 2-dribble pull up towards his left.
2 minutes left here. Curry's three,
and while Steph may have the reputation for being a weak, undersized guard, I actually think he's got really underrated strength off the dribble. Watch him here catch and get into Brooks' body, to then organize his feet and punch the step back. Throughout this game, I also thought Steph didn't get enough credit for how much offense he created for his teammates. He may have finished with just 3 assists, but the box score only tells a small part of the story. First, the Warriors were targeting Şengün, Green, and Adams with these Curry ball screens. And because Houston didn't want to switch or play a heavy drop, the only real option was the blitz. But the Warriors screeners can both score and playmake, so this put the Rockets at an immediate disadvantage. We'll see the Warriors call GP2 up into a screen, and Şengün steps up to meet Curry at the level, which opens up this routine pocket pass. And Payton from this spot can both put pressure on the rim and dime up cutters. Now one adjustment the Rockets tried to make was to leave their bigs and drop, to then send extra help from gap. But that's where having a guy like Jimmy Butler can play a huge factor.
Post in the corner and Butler on the move.
And Steph was also able to create some easy offense out in transition. Because Houston was so freaked out about his pull-up shooting, Steph could draw multiple defenders by just pushing the ball, which then opened up these clear kick-ahead passes. Now, outside of his shot making, probably the biggest superpower in Curry's game is his ability to create space off the ball. Because defenses are constantly worried about that movement and shooting, Steph can pull 2 or 3 defenders out of hell by just working off a simple flare screen, which then gives guys like Butler more space to play with. We'll see him here slowly cut back door off this pin down screen, which pulls both of these defenders down, giving GP2 all the time and space in the world for the shot.
Payton, 3, count it.
So for Houston, there's nothing really they can do about Steph Curry's superhuman shot making. If they get a hand up and force him into deep contested looks, they're just going to have to live with the results. But going forward, they're still going to have to tighten up their coverages. I think they let him loose for too many open jumpers off of screens, plus allowing him to cut free for layups. I think if Houston can both eliminate all the easy looks for Curry, plus find ways to jumpstart their offense, they're going to have a good chance to tie the series going forward. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments who the kids should break down next. The kids here.